All right, let's go ahead and take another trip here back into the fog on the Pale Rose. You will notice that there is a score change. We had kind of indicated, at least for the one score change from the Wake Up brought in, but then loading into the next trial, we did see a wrong offering from the Killer as well. So now going to be seeing a score of 15 to 10. So still kind of going to be in a similar sort of situation, right? Still going to be needing around that 5-6 hook stages, depending on where you're able to spread out those fresh hooks and which elimination you get. I believe that is the Cheryl that we saw off here in the reeds. Going to be just cornering up here, trying to prolong at least the first tag. Of now, though, unfortunately, Cheryl is going to be taking this chase in the middle of the four uncorrupted generators here. So going to really need to make a play. Look like try to go into the basement for a balanced landing play. We are going to see, though, unfortunately, that is the down. This is probably going to be a basement hook here, not even with like 90 seconds into this trial.
Yeah, it seems like the same beginning of the match over and over, right? Because the first one, it was a very good beginning for Killer. It was basically the same. It was just Arena instead of Cheryl, but Cheryl was also around the basement before. So it seems like a déjà vu of the first match. Then when we saw the wrong perk, I was not sure how good that was for the Killer, knowing the perks, okay, but he had a very good start. But then in the next trial, when they loaded with the wrong offering, they also had a very, very early hook. So it seems like Tom Tryhardy is really consistent when it comes to find survivors and getting quick downs, honestly. We see this is going to be another...
No.
They managed to do one generator, but this is one hook in basement. She's gonna hit Struggle. This is a slug next to basement, and the third survivor found. So it seems like Tom is pulling a very, very strong performance here. I'm actually scared of this Spirit.
Yeah, this is going to be extremely tough. It does look like we're going to go for a pickup here. Not sure if we have any pallet save, and Joyer does not look like that is going to be the case. We do see Adam is going to be beating us into the basement here, so that is going to allow for the save. But you had mentioned the second stage had already been forced here, and now you've got somebody in the basement. That is probably going to be your decisive... Well, you had actually know as far as who has what here, and I think for that reason we are actually just going to be seeing the hit down onto the ground here. And remember, we had already exposed our perk, so for that reason, Tom here just going to say, Alexa, set a timer for 60 seconds, going to allow the slug right next to the hook. And with two survivors being injured, there is no reason to risk the pickup, no reason to risk the decisive strike, no reason to leave where you're at right now, because the survivors need to heal if they're going to get the save, which takes them off the gens, which means the Ruin puts in the work.
Also, didn't we mention that the win condition here was 6 stages, or like one fresh hook on everyone? So he can basically sit here and wait to win the trail. Oh, damn.
Almost pulled off the unbreakable play there to be able to get the save. Not going to be the case. Forces the second stage. We've got the elimination. We do see that they stuck a gen across the way, but I don't think that's what you needed.
No, I think they really needed that save. The survivors really needed to keep everyone alive to avoid stages. Now it's 5 stages. Tom only needs one more hook and potentially face camp this third fresh hook, and that's it. And he won, right? Also, this person is injured, so this is the hook he needed, and it's on 3 generators left. This is actually an impressive performance from Tom Tryhardy. Honestly, I knew this girl from Pops. I think I don't think I ever saw him playing comp. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe he did and I just don't remember. But I remember him from Pops, and he was always a very strong killer, but I am actually impressed to see his performance in comp.
Yeah, you love seeing coming out, and especially with this sort of performance here, right? You had mentioned how this was Iconic's pick, and you had done a good job on the survivor side. Now seeing your killer for Raymond putting down and doubling down that pressure here. And especially going to be tough because these survivors here that are potentially looking at getting 4K'd at only 2, maybe 3 gens complete are going to have to come right back into the field of play against the Death Slinger here on Suffocation Pit. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be one of those situations where our killers is switching out or if it's the same killer or not, but these survivors are going to really need to make sure, kind of like we talked about last trial, you need to take this time in between sets, really gather yourself, make sure that you're on top of things moving into set 2.
Yeah, honestly, a 4K on 3 generators left is huge, and this killer, I also don't know if it's the same or not, so I guess we both are gonna find out later, but in any case, I think that the momentum must be huge for this team now. It's a 4K on 3 generators left. If that doesn't give you confidence to play the next match and crank it, I don't know what will, honestly. Because also it's your pick, right? So if your killer is doing this on the opponent's pick, well, I'm actually afraid to see what they're gonna do on their own pick. So I guess we are waiting for a potential Dali, but however, he knows the perks, and this is not Dali,
probably
so
just went ahead and put the
Survivor.
survivor up on the hook, decided to go ahead and just lean back, crack the knuckles, maybe decide to get up from the chair, take a quick stretch here, especially if this is our killer that is going to be coming out for this next set here. You had mentioned set number 2, which is going to be the Death Slinger on the Suffocation Pit. But as far as set number 1, that is Raymond going to be wrapping it up with set 1, 43-14. So very, very impressive.
Huge. That's a huge difference. It reminds me a little bit of the match number 1, where we could see a very strong performance and very similar scores as well. If I remember correctly, it was also like 47-18 or to 20 something. So we see a huge variety of killers, but not so different outcomes and performances from teams. So I wonder how they're going to do on Death Slinger, but as we could see today, anything can happen, and I would actually like to see Iconic coming back and hopefully seeing a third match, a tiebreaker between these two strong teams, honestly. And I want to watch more from Tryhardy. However, we are going to find out who's the next killer and see what the outcome will be.